The officiant said, "You may kiss the bride." Alex turned, reached past me, and kissed Jenna's cheek instead. My bouquet slipped from my hands and hit the aisle. Pause. I had planned that day for 18 months. We booked the Willow Ridge Barn on June 12, 2024 at 4 p.m. The $5,000 deposit was paid in September. My dress cost $3,200. The photographer, Mia, was paid $2,500. 120 people were in folding chairs under the string lights. Jenna was my maid of honor. She was my college roommate. She had been the first person I called when Alex proposed on December 2, 2023. She promised to be at my side. She wasn't supposed to be at his side. Everything before that moment was a blur of whitened faces. I remember my hands shaking when I clicked the safety pin on my bouquet. I remember Alex's eyes on me during the vows, warm, distracted. I remember Jenna standing next to me with that practice smile, the one she'd used since sophomore year whenever she wanted my approval. But I didn't remember her whispering to Alex. I didn't remember his hand brushing hers as he reached to kiss me. I remembered the kiss on her cheek and the brick in my chest. After the ceremony, while everyone moved toward cocktails, I went to the bridal suite to steady my breathing. I sat on the edge of the bed and opened Jenna's makeup bag, the same one she'd lent me for touch-ups, and found her phone tucked under a compact. Her screen was unlocked. A new message was pulsing, "Meet me at 6:30. Don't make me wait." The sender was A. My hands were shaking so badly I dropped the phone. I picked it up and scrolled. There were 87 messages between At and Jenna over the last 3 weeks. Photos at 2:14 a.m. in a bar booth. A blurred selfie with the caption, "Can't stop thinking about yesterday." A voice memo saved as promise.m4a. I didn't listen at first. I didn't want to know. But the dress felt too heavy and the barn too quiet. I hit play. "I'm going to make him mine," Jenna's voice said, the words too steady for someone who'd called me her best friend. "You just watch. He'll leave her. He always listens to me." My face went numb. I could hear laughter outside, the bridesmaids taking pictures. I pinched the back of my hand until I felt the sting. I should have screamed. I considered stomping out and dragging both of them into the parking lot. But I had everyone here. I had money sunk in non-refundable costs, a total of $18,450 by my accountant's last estimate, and family who had flown across the country. I had the absolute power to ruin everything in front of the people who mattered most to Jenna. I set the phone back where I'd found it. I took 3 deep breaths. I slid my engagement ring off and tucked it into my clutch. Then I walked out, smiling the way your face practices its lines for a play. For 2 months before the wedding I'd noticed things and discounted them. A lipstick stain on Alex's collar that Jenna just happened to notice. Jenna accidentally sitting between us at couples brunches. Alex texting LOL whenever she sent a selfie. He was exhausted from work. I told myself it was stress. But the messages on Jenna's phone were the pattern. The voice memo was the confession. I needed proof in front of witnesses. I had spent the last week planting the seeds of the plan. I called Mia, my photographer, at 3:20 p.m. and said, "If anything weird happens, record it raw. No edits." Mia agreed. She hated Jenna because Jenna had stiffed her for a headshot session in March. I pulled Sarah, the planner, aside and asked if she could cue the DJ for 1 extra minute during the toasts. Sarah's jaw clenched. "I've got your back," she said. At 7:58 p.m., after dinner and before the cake, the DJ opened the mic for open floor toasts. Jenna stood up. Her face was a practiced mask, brave, controlled. She cleared her throat and smiled toward me. "Emma, you know I've loved you forever." She started. I stood up too. I walked to the head table with my speech in my hand, but I didn't start with the usual thank you lines. I looked at the crowd, my parents, Alex's grandmother, our co-workers, and the bridesmaids who had all watched Jenna rehearse her lines. I felt something like calm settle into my bones. "There's something everyone should hear," I said. Not because I want to hurt anyone, but because I want the truth in front of the people who matter. I clicked the USB stick attached to the laptop Mia had set up for slides. The speakers swallowed the room for a second. Alex's aunt said, "Oh, a slideshow, how sweet." Instead, the speakers played Jenna's voice from the voice memo I'd found months ago when Jenna had bragged after a heavy night out at our apartment. The sentence was short and steady: "I'm going to make him mine. You just watch." Pause. I watched the color drain from Jenna's face. I had Mia's sequence cued, the voice memo, then screenshots from Jenna's phone, "Meet me at 6:30 texts, a photo of Jenna and Alex from April at a brewery timestamped 2:14 a.m., a screenshot where Jenna wrote, "Can't wait to kiss you again," and Alex replied with a heart emoji. Each image popped on the projector over the DJ booth. The room had gone quiet enough that you could hear the hum of the refrigeration truck outside. "Is that real?" Alex demanded. He grabbed the microphone like it was a lifeline. "Emma, his voice broke. He was pale. Sweat beaded at his hairline. "Answer him, Jenna," I said. My hands were steady. "Tell Alex what you told me in March." Jenna stumbled, then tried the oldest defense, play the victim. "Emma, you recorded me? You ambushed me in front of everybody?" She looked at faces she had counted on. Mine were steady, others were shocked. I felt the room tilt. I had one more card. I pulled up the last photo, a close-up of Alex and Jenna kissing in the backseat of a car at 1:07 a.m. on May 29. Mia had taken that one at the after-party for my bridal shower when Jenna and Alex had staggered out of the bar. Jenna's phone had it saved. I had screenshotted and dated it. "We were engaged when that was taken," I said. "I trusted you. You promised you'd never do this." Alex's hands were trembling so hard he dropped his drink. The expression on his face was something between shame and something I didn't recognize. He wasn't the same man who had put a sparkler in my hair in January when I said yes. Jenna stood frozen, and for the first time in years she looked small. The rest was messy and fast. Alex tried to explain. Jenna cried and said it was complicated and that she'd been lonely and that we'd all misread things. My father stood up and called her a coward. Guests split into murmurs like a game of rippling water. A few people recorded on their phones. My cousin Sophia texted me, "Do you want me to call your mom?" and my mother squeezed my hand so hard I thought she would snap my fingers. Security walked Jenna to the exit at 8:22 p.m. She kept saying, "Emma, please," but nobody matched the old rehearsed politeness she relied on. Alex followed her out a minute later without his jacket. He did not come back. Pause. After the wedding, the fallout lasted months. Jenna sent me a dozen emails begging for forgiveness. I forwarded them to 5 mutual friends and to a group chat of ex-roommates who'd been on the edge of doubt for months. My decision to publish the screenshots to a private Facebook group of our college friends triggered a chain. People reacted, some supported me, some accused me of public shaming. My Instagram blew up with messages, mostly in my defense. Jenna's job at the marketing agency started to feel different when a forwarded screenshot hit the team's Slack from someone who'd been at the wedding. Within 2 weeks she was called into HR. They placed her on unpaid leave pending an investigation into unprofessional conduct affecting client relationships. She had a housemate who moved out. Her parents texted me to ask if there was anything we should know. Alex texted me a week later. "I'm sorry," he wrote at 2:12 a.m. "I made a mistake." He begged for a second chance and promised counseling. I replied once, "You kissed her at my ceremony." He didn't answer after that. I lost a lot. The deposits were non-refundable. My mother cried for days over the money we'd spent. The photographer sent me a partial refund because Mia felt complicit in what happened. We filed a small claims case to get back one vendor fee that was not delivered and won $650. I kept my dignity and my story. Jenna lost the friend group she'd been part of since college. Alex lost our future. They each paid a price that fit the scale of what they'd tried to take from me. Weeks later, a mutual friend told me something that felt like closure. Jenna sent you an apology letter and then tried to contact Alex again. He told her not to. People asked me why I didn't make the whole thing private. Why I didn't confront them in a back room. Why I didn't quietly walk away. I did it because secrecy was their weapon. They'd been plotting in messages behind my back. If I had left it to whispers, they would have kept their power. Bringing it into light unbalanced them. A year on, I'm rebuilding. I changed jobs in October. I moved into a small place with a kitchen that I can finally cook in without tripping over boxes. I ran into Jenna once at a mutual friend's wedding. She had come alone. She didn't make eye contact. I felt sorrow, not triumph. I also felt a hard, clear line where my life restarted. Pause. It still hurts. There are nights I wake up angry, replaying the jewelry and the flowers and the faces. But I'm learning of what I am capable when crossed. The revenge didn't come from violence or schemes to destroy a career. It came from assembling truth, timing it for witnesses, and refusing to be the punchline. So now I ask you, if your best friend kissed your partner at your wedding, would you expose them in front of everyone, or walk away and never look back?